Alright, so the author made a really good first impression for me in the first chapter, The Law of Human Nature.
Yeah.
Just that first paragraph where he talks about people, you know, when you're out in public, you hear people's arguments, you hear people...
Oh, yeah, all the time, Paul. You overhear just things.
Yeah, you overhear people. And an example he used was, how I took it was when you're on the bus or in class and someone sits in your seat and someone says, oh, that's my seat, I was there first. Like, that's not an actual law. And then that leads into natural law. It's not a said rule, it's kind of one of those unspoken rules.
Yeah.
But it's just naturally like dibs.
Yeah.
Like when you call dibs on something, you call it, like, it's yours. You guys know, right?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's not written in like a constitution or anything, but we kind of just know it, like, just your moralities as a human being, right? Even just being, like, respectful to people. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's no law saying you can't be rude to people, you can't be a complete dick. But, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of just courtesy and respect for other people that you're polite, right?
Just a quote straight from the book, page 5. It says, "This law is called the law of nature because people thought that everyone knew it by nature and did not need to be taught it."
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I experienced this many times on the bus. Getting up for handicapped people. Yeah, it's just a law that you have to respect, and it just comes with being human.
And it is natural.
Yeah, I always thought, like, where that, like, phrase come from, like, dibs, like, it's just something natural, just comes to, like, it's part of being human.
Yeah, so that's what first chapter talked a lot about, natural law. But then I thought, I thought natural law was just a really basic thing. But in the second chapter, we see he goes into moral law.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the same thing. But what it made me think of was the bro code. It's like, what's morally right and wrong?
Mm-hmm.
There's no written law that you could say, like, don't hook up with your friend's ex-girlfriend, you know? But it's just something no one does. It's morally wrong, but it's not an actual constitutional law.
Mm-hmm.
It's also something that, if you did something like that, if you, did something that's morally wrong, it would actually have, like, an effect on your conscience.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't want to do something that is wrong like that, because it has a long-lasting effect.
Yeah, I have a good example. That's when you're on the bus. Like, this is a example a lot of people can relate to. When you're in the bus, if the bus driver's not looking, most people just walk by. But, like, the moral thing to do would probably be just still put the bus ticket in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, have you ever, like, experienced that yourself, or like?
Well, actually, one time I thought, like, I was running out of money. I wanted to get a snack after school, but if I didn't put the bus ticket in, if you used money to put it in, I wouldn't have enough. So I just walked by because he wasn't looking.
Wow. Unlike, like, human nature, which was discussed in the first part, I think that moral law, it's not really an instinct. It's more, there's a pretty significant difference between moral and instinct, right?
Yeah, and he does talk about instinct in the second chapter.
Yeah.
Corrado, I think what you were talking about was more of the third chapter, reality of law. And how there is a law there, but
exactly.
Like, some of those laws are just like the bus ticket thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's some of them they're not going to follow, like jaywalking.
Yeah.
No, like, that's against the law to jaywalk. No one's going to, like, no one follows that.
Exactly.
But what brings me back to instinct is when I thought about instinct when the author brought it up in chapter 2, and it is a religion class, I thought of what instinct is. I tried to think back to, like, caveman times, to get a real idea of, like, natural human instinct, and they brought me back to Adam and Eve, which one of their instincts was, like, how did they reproduce? No one taught them. They didn't have sex ed classes. It's just a natural instinct.
I have a great example of this here. So it's another quote from the book. It's, "Instinct means that you feel a strong want or desire to act in a certain way." An example he had in the book was your craving and your instinct for food. So obviously, since you're human, you have a craving, you want to eat every day. This is just an instinct that comes with being human, and it's just a great example for, the Adam and Eve kind of,
And if you really think about it, moral law, it essentially, like, directs all our instincts and our impulses, right?
Yeah.
Everything comes from moral law, right?
You don't need to be taught this stuff. It just comes.
Exactly.
What you feel right and wrong.
Yeah. So it also talks about, a little bit about how this law came to be in the first place. Dimitri, I think you found a great quote for that.
And then chapter 20. Or
Yeah,
sorry,
it's page 25 here.
Yeah.
If you want to read it out
For
first.
sure. All right. So the quote says that something which is directing the universe and which appears in me as a law urging me to do right and making me feel responsible and uncomfortable when I do wrong.
So this is as, this is what I refer to as the long-lasting effect that moral law has on your conscience. So this is just derived from this kind of, natural law, this presence on the earth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed the author talks a lot about law. You guys,
And
what do you think that ties to religion? Like,
I
religion,
think, I was just going to say, I think he refers that completely to God. God puts this uncomfortable and, this moral kind of, kind of gauge into us so that we can gauge our moral instincts and, like apply it
like
to our lives.
decisions, all the decisions we made. And like, how do you guys think, like the laws of Christianity? Like, there are laws or rules in Christianity, I should say, like no sex before marriage, that aren't actually laws. How do you think?
Do you agree?
Oh well, no, not really. but like in terms of laws, like how do you think that's not a natural law? That's more of a religious law. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that moral law, it's not like the laws of nature, like like gravity, which we kind of follow like involuntarily, kind of just that's the way it is. I think moral law is what like humans ought to do and what they actually do, right?
Yeah, I think what he's trying to get at is like not that laws are bad, but it's like we still need them, but it's like more like what you think is right and versus
It's basically unwritten rules, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he also talks about how people make excuses for the bad behavior, and this is part of breaking our natural law. If we make bad decisions or we do something that's more like morally heavy on our conscience, most people make excuses or blame others, and that's that's something that just comes with human nature. He says people.
It's anxiety, right?
Yeah, no, people are naturally. Some people will break the law of
Do you
human
guys
nature.
have any examples? I mean, I know Rod's gave a good example when he said you even gave an excuse. You said you wanted the guy wasn't looking, the bus teller wasn't looking. You put your money in. You would have put your money in, but you wanted a snack to eat after. That's just an excuse. We all make excuses to break the law. I mean, that wasn't really. I mean, it's against the law, but it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So even like doing your homework, it's not against the law to not to do your homework too, right? But some people just decide not to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they have guideline and it'd be morally wrong for them to do something like that.
Yeah.
I guess it just comes down to our decisions and what we think is morally right. But again, everyone's different. How do you think some people like I'm thinking good and bad decisions. Why do you think some people have different views on what's morally right? Like Hitler, for example. Like I'm sure his morals and his natural instincts are greatly different from ours. No?
Exactly.
Yeah, just like you said, like that's why it's not like he's against laws. That's why there still is, and we vote for them because like everyone's gonna have different opinions. So
Yeah,
that's probably why we still have them.
Yeah.
And they accept it.
Yeah.